When we outside, it's an ocean of love. All that we align up to the stars up above. Let we dance now, take a chance now with me. And we go jump till morning. Look, the moon gone sleeping. Tell them we not leaving till the last drop of a canal is madness in the capital. So I feel like I'm running town again. Jump and shake the ground again. Wave with all my friends and them. No place like home. Oh, oh. I feel like I'm running town again. Jump and shake the ground again. Wave with all my friends and them. No place like home.
I'm so excited. I don't know about you. I am so excited to have last weekend. I don't know if I should, I should be extra about anything, but amazing performance last weekend in Dominica, and you see the Trinity flag flying. Guys, make sure you share the live. You're jumping on. Welcome, 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 one and all. As soon as you jump in, share the live. Share the live. We're going live. Let me tell you, like, this is going to be fire. Let me just switch this a little bit. All right, let me just switch this a little bit. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to have you guys on. Those of you who are logging on YouTube, those of you on Facebook, those of you on X and LinkedIn, big up yourselves. I'm so happy to be back with you this week for another Jael Joseph live show. And this one is, of course, Run the Track and Talk. And I have, let me tell you, whenever I fly from Toronto to Dominica, I usually hop on Caribbean Airline. Why? Because Caribbean Airline takes me from Toronto. There's a late flight that flies from Toronto to Trinidad, and first thing in the morning, so I don't lose a day. And let me tell you, the last time I traveled to Dominica, this song played so much on Caribbean Airline. If you did not know it, by the end of the trip, your heart had. Okay, you have a hard heart. All right? Because this song was pumping. DNA became part of my DNA by the time I get to Dominica. I swear I was Trini to the bone by the time I reached Dominica. And I'm so excited to have him. He was on last week. He was in Dominica. We're going to talk about Dominica. We're going to talk about his career. We're going to talk about his music. He's a producer. He's been doing his thing for such a long time. And I am excited to have him here on the show. Let me tell you, I work for this. I want to big up Sue, my girl Sue, and Dion. Big up yourselves. Thanks for making it happen. It's good to have good people that like you. It's good to have people that have your back. It's good to have people that respect your craft. It's good to have people that celebrate you. It's good to celebrate people, because that's what this show is all about. It's all about celebrating people, celebrating music, celebrating Caribbean music, celebrating each other. And it's just really good to know that when you have people who have your back and really looking out for you, it's so important to have that in your life. And I just want to say, I am so grateful to have good people in my life. So thank you to all those of you who've been good to me, who have my back. Those of you, I see y'all coming on. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Don't delay, share the live. Those of you on Facebook, big up yourself. This show is sponsored by Digicel. Yes, I want to big up Digicel one time. Thank you so very much for sponsoring this show and bringing it to you live into your homes, everyone in Dominica, those of you across the Caribbean. Welcome to the show, and I'm so excited to be presenting our special guest. Mical Teja is here. He is here live and in living color, and he's going to be talking to us. He just actually came off a meet and greet. I think it was a meet and greet, and he is here. He made time. It's so good to know that we can have such great connections with all different Caribbean people. And he was featured on the Carib Hype event last weekend. He was the main act. Got to interact with him, and I was like, "Hey, would you like to come on my show?" And he didn't hesitate. Like he did not hesitate. He's like, "Jael, I'm on tour, but I'm gonna do this." And in quick time, we were like scheduling it and sending flyers and all kinds of things. And I really appreciate that. I really love that. And I'm so grateful to him for taking the time out to come here today. We're getting the show organized. I am so happy to welcome. Without further ado, let me organize my music. Let me organize my music. They rush me. Me not rushing all. They rush me. They rush me. Let me organize my music in the back. Let me big up my team. I want to big up Samaj. Thank you very much for putting this down quick, fast. Thank you very much to every single one of you who are on the live. Those of you who are sharing. Those of you who've not yet started sharing, what you waiting for? Like share the live as soon as you get on. You need to share this live as soon as you get on. We're getting ready. We're going to be talking all things music. Are we ready? Give me a thumbs up. Ready? Yes. Let's see who's on the live. Drop your flag. Let me know where you're representing, where you're locked in from. I see y'all coming. Oh gosh. Hey, don't rush it. Miss Mom say, don't rush it, Jael. Jael, take your time. Listen, they love this one. They say, take your time with this one. Don't rush it. I promise. We're not rushing it. Okay, D Sugar, thank you for joining. Thank you, guys. Oh, God, I see Delma. Antigua on the line. Antigua and Dominica on the line. Big up yourself. Thank you very much for joining us. Drop your flags. Let me know where you're connected from or where you're connected or where you're connecting from. Let me know where you're tuned in. Yes, I see you, Jade. I see you, Aurelie. I see y'all. Thank you, Dominica. I see those Dominican flags dropping. Ila Bonji. Don't put no flag that I don't know. Eh? If I might not be sure about the flag, make sure you tell me where you're from. Locked in from Houston, Texas. Chai Town, Al in the house. Yes, everybody, all Tupac to everywhere is locked in to the show. We're getting started. We're getting right into it. Let me tell you. Look, sweet music. Let me tell you. My sister says, boy, his music's so sweet. His music, when she heard I had him on, she's like, his music's so sweet. I was like, go behave yourself. Behave yourself. She just kept talking. She kept going, oh, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. Let's welcome. Hello.
Hi, guys. Hope all is well. We are live.
Yes, we live.
Oh.
How are you?
I'm good. A bit tired, but I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm grateful just to be here doing what I love. You know, yeah.
So you on tour. I know you officially said you've been on tour since I believe April. And one of your stops in the tour was Dominica. How was it like being in Dominica last week?
So I've been to Dominica last year before for Incognito.
Yes.
An Incognito event. And Dominica is a very warm place. First of all, I love the cocoa tea. You know, one of the best cocoa teas in the Caribbean.
Just say the best now. Just say the best.
In the world.
Yeah. In the world.
And I love the atmosphere. You know, it's of course the nature. I love the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very a beautiful place. You know, big up Dominica every time. It feels like home away from home. You know.
Does it? So you say you like the cocoa tea. What makes the cocoa tea special? What to you? Like what?
I don't know. I think like you guys have some kind of spices in the cocoa tea that just makes it extra.
We extra. We very extra. You there? I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
A little cold, but that's okay.
All right. So you said you've been here before. This is your second time. And of course you were there for Incognito last year. You came back this year for Carib Hype. There's a lot of stuff going on around in terms of your career and in terms of you know winning Soca Groovy and your song and all of the energy that's coming with it. Being in Dominica, obviously, I want to dwell a little bit on Dominica, just a little bit, because we're gonna get into things, into the heat of things. What would you say is one thing that's probably missing from Dominica to make it the place where everybody can come to? Because as you know, it's not very easy to access Dominica, especially if you live in outside of the Caribbean. What would you say is missing?
Um, I think that's a hard question for me to answer because I don't think I've spent enough time in Dominica to answer that. So to me, I don't think it's missing anything. I can't pinpoint what's missing, you know?
That's I mean, obviously you would have had to have do vacation here to actually be able to, feel the vibe and everything. We'll get into your experience on stage on Saturday. What was that like? Like, how was the crowd? How were you? I saw you after the fact, and you were listening to the other artists perform. What was it like being on stage and then being off stage?
So again, like being on stage and last year in Dominica, you know, it was a warm welcome. Like they showed a really different type of love. And now to come back there and see familiar faces and see people who'd have been there last year, or even people who would not have been there last year, but now they are caught up on the music and they love the music. Just to see that warm welcome, like the experience was really, really amazing. Really, really amazing. I appreciate the love that Dominica has shown me from last year to now. Yeah. And now being in the crowd as a spectator now, I'm a fan of Signal the Band, I'm a fan of Shelly. Well, I realize that Stasha isn't there anymore, but I'm a fan of Shelly and the whole Signal Band. So of course I'm gonna be in the crowd just rocking back and seeing them in their element, because before I'm an artist, I'm a lover of music. So when it's good music, it's good music.
Once it's good music, it's good music. How about bouillon? I know the entire genre of bouillon is kind of like taking over the Caribbean.
Yeah,
Um, and
again.
yes, yes. Tell me, what are your thoughts?
No, my thoughts are, because the bouillon beat is very similar to soca, so it feels like a branch of soca music. So we here in Trinidad, we love it just as much.
Mhm.
We embrace it like soca music.
Fantastic. Make sure though you know your history behind bouillon. Make sure you know your history on bouillon
Yeah,
because
I know. Well, I know that Dominica does not really call bouillon soca, so that's why I'm very particular with how I say, like, how we view it is like a branch off of it's like a
Mhm.
branch from soca, meaning that if you hear bouillon, we could play bouillon with soca because it's a similar, in the feeling and the energy. But of
Mm.
course, respect to bouillon, from the WCK to the youths, I would say, in Dominica now, like Shelly and Signal, to everybody doing their thing. you know
Yes, yes. Tell me a little bit about you because you're a producer. You started off um producing. You wrote for Destro. Like, I didn't even know that. You've been around for quite some time. Uh,
Mhm.
Tell me, where did you get your music started? Where did it all start for you?
It started off professionally working with Destra for like about when I was, I think, 14, 15 years old. So I started to write for her at that age, and I guess at that time, a lot of the producers who were, doing some of the big hits for Marshall and Kess around those time, Casey Phillips, Precision Productions, they saw something in me that I didn't even see, and they took me under their wing as a songwriter, and I began just songwriting for basically most of the soca artists of that time, and just kept going, and evolved into me, becoming an artist now, in a nutshell.
What sort of lessons would you say that you kind of learned from that experience, or you took with you from that experience?
I've learned patience. I've learned to, you know, push forward and make sure and get the sound right. I've also learned in soca music there's something called you know, you put the song first, and that's something I learned a lot working with people like Marshall Montano and Kess and many others, putting the song first, willing to spend at least 18 hours in the studio just working on one song, you know. It's about putting the song first.
Wow, you spoke about you even working with Marshall. I know you've worked with like people like Kevin Little, like various Caribbean artists.
Yeah.
Um, what what do you enjoy most about working with other artists within the region?
Learning for me, it the entire process of even the process of traveling and performing in different places. Like I love the fact that for the two times that I've been to Dominica, like I'm learning more about the place. Like I love learning. So being in studio with Marshall Montano and Kevin Little and many others,
Mhm.
learning experience for me, and these guys have so much knowledge, and I'm just glad to just be in the room and be able to soak up as much knowledge as possible.
Wow. In during the pandemic, I remember you wrote a song, "Strength of God."
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind that track and what inspired you? Um, because you really captured an audience, especially during this a really really tough time when people could not go to fete, people could not party, everybody was just inside, and you put out "Strength of God." Tell us a little bit about that.
That song came at a time where it was a very vulnerable time for other artists, in terms of the entire world is shut down, and we basically don't know where our next income is coming from. We don't know what is going on. So, and you know, we really had to put trust in a higher power, and that's where that song came about. By the strength of God, not the strength of man, we will make it out of this.
Mhm.
You know,
And we did make it out of
and
it.
we did, and we made it out, and we are stronger, we are better. You know, pushing forward with love and light.
Who's your favorite collaborator? Like who's like your favorite, your absolute favorite? Like I just you just love because you've collaborated with Nyla Blackman.
Yeah,
You've collaborated with a few people. Who's your
yeah.
absolute favorite collaboration?
I don't have a favorite.
Ah, I know you were gonna say that.
No, because I think everybody brought something different to the table.
Hmm.
With Nyla, she brought her like super creativity and her spontaneous energy. Um, Working with Kerwin, he brought like this meticulous approach to music. Working with like people like Marshall is like, again, like when you're in the studio, like you're gaining so much knowledge and learning so much. So working with everyone has its own special, what's the word I want to use? Like, its own special experience.
Mm. You also, besides music, I want to touch a little bit about your other things that you do, because I learned that you're involved in a lot of community activism,
Yeah.
and I want to touch a little bit on that. Um,
Mhm.
as an activist, and as part of that community called, I think you guys call it community redevelopers,
Yes.
you have actually been involved in infrastructure projects, skills, and training in various communities. How do you balance, or how are you able to balance your music career with activism, or what exactly drives you back to the community in that way?
Well, it's a organization that is within my community. It's where I grew up. So a lot of us, we grew up together, and we just felt like it's our community, and we want to help our community. We don't want to sit down and wait on other people to come and do things in the community. We are living here, so let's take pride in the community. If
Hmm.
there is a bench that needs to be fixed, let's fix it. If there on the play field, the lines need to be painted, the nets need to be changed, like let's not wait on somebody to do that. Let's do it ourselves. And so it's just a group of us coming together with that same ideology and just making things happen.
I love it. I love it. Speaking of community, let me just head to my little community on Facebook and see what's going on Facebook in terms of a few folks are screaming your name, like screaming your name loud. I can hear it through the computer. So we have folks locked in from. So there's Ditho from Houston, Texas. There's Dion. There's D Sugar from Atlanta. Kirk from Dominica. Um, Jade is saying that's her favorite song of 2024. That's the song I guess I'm playing in the background. Curacao is in the house. That's Verlaine is in the house.
Yeah.
Yanata is saying good evening. There's a lot of different people are jumping on from different places. Even London. London's supposed to be sleeping. Y'all supposed to be sleeping. London is listening. She says she's listening from her bedroom.
Yeah.
My sister who absolutely loves you, she says you deserve this success, Mical, and me love you long time, great talent. She's like, sing Runway for me now. Tonight, my name is Lauren. Shwaya run away. Sherlyn said you're such that's Jenny. She said you're such a humble soul. So folks are definitely loving you on Facebook. Make sure guys share the live, keep sharing the live. I see someone is locked in on YouTube from French Guiana is locked in. So French Guiana is there saying good evening. Hello, good evening from French Guiana. So folks from all over are tuned in. I want to jump into so you're nominated for the Caribbean Music Awards. So you have a few nominations, but one I want to actually focus on is you're nominated for Soca Video of the Year for your song DNA. You're nominated with some people, some big guns, along with Marshall Montano, Bungie Garland, Lyrical, Nadia Watson, Problem Child, Skinny Fabulous. What does this nomination mean to you?
So first of all, I'll start by, I'm super grateful for the recognition and for the love and for the support. But to me, I don't really view those things like competition, and like that's not what I'm in it for. So for me, again, like super grateful for that recognition, and just the name of the song being mentioned among those greats. But to me, that's not really the focus. To me, the focus is pushing the culture and pushing the music forward. So whether you win or you're not, or you don't win, it's about something bigger than that.
Yeah, I love that you say that. I love that you say it's more than just the win. I think for me, like when I think of the awards, I think it's a celebration of all artists, regardless of how it comes about, whether you win or lose. It's like a celebration. And I love the fact that you say, it's not just something to be in a competition for, because it really is not a competition. And I don't even and I find sometimes as Caribbean people we can become competitive, like in our own, he should win or that person should win, and we get all emotional and take it so personal when our artists don't win, but I think it's just the recognition and knowing that because Caribbean Music Awards is all like people generated, so it's not really a fraternity that says okay, that sits like the Grammys and they say, oh, we're gonna pick and choose who we want to. It's all about, hey, let's celebrate Caribbean music, and who you nominating, let's nominate them and let's vote for them, and I wish you all the best. we still some of us still want you to win. we can say that, right?
Yeah, let's see.
We can say that.
I won't be sad if I win. I'll be happy. I'll be grateful.
But if you don't win, obviously you're gonna be happy.
I'm still happy and still grateful. Yeah.
Right. Tell us a little bit about DNA, because DNA took us by storm. I don't think a lot of folks were expecting it to blow. Did you expect it to blow up that much?
No, not really. Not really. Just felt like I wanted to put out a really great song, and the rest was history. The rest is history. I think people gravitate to the feeling because we could all relate to what home is. Home is such a unique thing to everyone, but it means the same thing to
Mhm.
everybody.
Hmm. It does. It definitely does. I like how you connect it to your DNA. Like it's a DNA thing. It's like part of your DNA,
Yeah,
and it definitely showcases cultural identity, and patriotism. A lot of patriotism.
yeah.
What inspires these kinds of music for you, and how do you hope that people can actually connect with it or even resonate with it locally and internationally?
Um, so I'm big on Caribbean culture. I think the more that the more globalization is happening, I think is the more that we as Caribbean people need to make sure that within that globalization that we are represented and our culture is nurtured and maintained and preserved.
Mhm.
So for me, it's about being a part of that, uh, pushing our culture forward, and making sure that it exists amongst other cultures. And it's not about rivaling, but it's
Mhm.
about representation. So for me, when I make music, I try to represent Caribbean culture as best as I could, because a lot of people may not know, in Trinidad and Tobago, um, we are arguably one of the most multicultural and most multinational country. I'll say that with the utmost certainty,
Mhm.
because in Trinidad and Tobago we have a huge population of, you know, uh, African people, East Indian people, Chinese, Syrians,
Latino.
Spanish coming in from Venezuela, and on top of that, we also have, from over the last 200, 300 years, like my grandmother, she's from Montserrat. My grandfather, he's from St. Vincent,
Wow.
family from St. Thomas. So in Trinidad here, we have a lot of people from Grenada and Vincy and coming in from, and they spend time here and they live and have children. And so we are a real melting pot. Hence the reason why we embrace, like, Trinidad Carnival is one of those carnivals that an artist from outside could come and we embrace them, because we are that melting pot. We feel everything.
Yes. Yeah. And it goes without saying, not just in how you guys represent Carnival, but in your food, in
And
your
yeah,
dress, like I was actually on a call today, and uh, it, it's a UN event that's happening, and all of them kept talking about the doubles. 'Cause they're in
yeah,
Trinidad now. And I'm like, yo, I am like in a Zoom call, like y'all trying to like make my mouth water. They're just talking, fighting about doubles over doubles, and
yeah.
um, and
Great,
who haven't
great.
tasted it, and who is looking forward to tasting it. And I mean, it definitely is so many different cultures. I know, like, my partner spent a lot of time in Trinidad a couple years ago, and he compares food here still to Trinidad. So if you give him a roti, he's like, nah, not Trini roti. You know, like, he's
Yeah,
constantly comparing, or if you don't put enough chutney, or if you and he bust up shot not tasting like it was in the shot.
yeah,
He's constantly comparing. So you guys really do have it really is a
yeah,
melting pot of so many different backgrounds, and that's really super to hear how you represented that in your music. My sister, who loves Runaway, obviously she talk about Runaway. It is an anthem for people seeking to escape life's challenges. And I know it resonated with a lot of folks, especially someone like me who straddles both Canada and Dominica. I know what winter is, yes. And when winter hits, I really want to run away when I'm in Canada. Like, it's no
yeah,
no ifs, ands, or buts. But I got the feeling that this song had a deeper message, a message not just to impact life's challenge, or speak on life's challenges, but also looking for moments of relief and moments of peace. Can you share some of the message behind the song, and what exactly you were trying to bring alive, when you did this one.
So in a nutshell, I would say it's a song basically connecting the diaspora. I think of in the diaspora, the Caribbean diaspora, which is so important to soca music. The Caribbean diaspora in the United States, in Toronto, in London,
Woo!
UK. It's so important, and I just wanted to make a song to kind of connect with them, because when we go out there and perform for the diaspora, it's almost like we giving them a little bit of a runaway to the Caribbean. So I wanted to kind of capture that energy and send it out there to them, and I think the diaspora is who really made that song what like more a little bit more meaningful to them, because of, as you said, like yourself going back and forth to Toronto to Dominica. It's from the cold to the warm. So I think a lot of the diaspora is who is to I would credit for this song, and spending time in New York as well. Really, really inspired that song.
I love the song. I actually fell in love with soca in Toronto. So I didn't fall in love with soca in Dominica. Granted, I was raised in Dominica, but I fell in love with soca. And I remember coming down to Dominica, and they would only play dancehall. You were not hearing anybody playing soca. And I remember telling my sister, and she can vouch for me. I remember, like, what is that? Like, y'all need to listen to soca music.
Yeah,
Because I would go to Enforcers and Dr. J and all of the fets that was happening. They knew me by like on a first name basis, right? Half the times I did not pay. So I fell in love with soca music in Toronto, going to fets in the freezing cold, and you don't want to wear nothing, but you don't want to bring too much because you don't want to go for coat check. So your little bit of clothes, waiting outside in the cold to jump into the soca fet to warm up, and then to do this again another weekend.
yeah,
So that is what I remember, in terms of how my love. That's how my love started for soca music. So when you talk about the diaspora, I mean, it's so important because I know, like I remember when things like Don't Cry, when they would have events like Don't Cry when they go in Trinidad, they would have a fete to tell you not to cry, and then they'll have another fete to tell you they're bringing the fire for you, so they have fire fete. Like
yeah,
they knew how to like hit at your heartstrings when it comes to music and being home and connecting music to home. And it's so important that you brought this up, because that is really what it does for people who live in the diaspora. And Maki, you talk about migration and all of your family across the diasporas. People out there, they're the ones that are pumping money into our little or small island
yeah,
economies,
yeah,
whether they come home or they send barrel or they send, you know.
yeah, yeah. That's real. That's real. That's real. That's really the fact of it. You know.
Yes. So, what's next? Speaking of diaspora, you're gonna be in Toronto. Your tour ends August 3rd, right?
Yeah.
How you plan on maintaining? Because you spoke at the beginning of the call. You said, "Oh, I'm a little tired, but I'm there." How are you going to maintain your energy and focus for all of your performances? What is your go-to ritual up
Uh,
until August 3rd in Toronto, Canada?
Loving what I do. I think that's the main thing. Loving what I do. I think if I didn't love what I do, I would not have the energy. I would not, like, for sure, I would not have the energy. So it's just maintaining the love I have and the passion I have for this, and also the love from people. I think the love and support from people is also fuels it. Some days I'm low and people will be like, "I love this song and I love what you're doing," and that give you a real boost, like what you said earlier about having people who support you and show you love and have your back. Like I know I want to say a big thanks to the fans out there who've been supporting, who've had our backs, who supported us from Tobago Carnival last year to now. Like, yeah, thank you.
Rise, limitless skies, right? This
Yeah.
is the place, the time of the show where we do all little rapid fire. And I
Mm.
don't want you to think too much about it. It's a cool, laid back. Don't think too much. Sometimes people think too much. They're like, boy, and they don't want to say, and they don't want to choose. So it's a rapid fire section.
Mhm.
And I'm going to just call out say the question, and you're just going to answer the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
First song you ever produced or written?
Carry On by Destra.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
That was a good one. That was, you said you were like 15, 14.
yeah, about 14. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Most memorable career milestone.
Winning Young Kings this year, for sure.
How did that feel?
Magical, because the year before I placed fourth and I felt like I wanted to conquer this. So it was good to come back the next year and come first.
So you have a little bit of competitiveness in here.
No. I just like to get things out the way. You know,
That was you getting it out the way.
yeah. Out the way.
Biggest musical influence.
Biggest, now that's a tough one. Because I'm influenced by so much different things.
So think of it as probably who's your go-to track? Like who's the go-to person you would go? And if you had to listen to something, no.
That's still real tough because I draw from so much. I draw from like stand-up comedy to, listening to a lot of old calypsos to even modern day, listening to people like Chronix, reggae wise. I listen to like Marshall Montano. I listen to Drake. I listen to all sorts of music. Sam Smith to the Georgia Smith to Burna Boy. Like my musical palette is really, really wide, so it's really, really tough to see.
Well, speaking of that, then tell me who would be your dream collaboration, dead or alive?
Dream collaboration said would be James Brown.
Really?
Yeah,
So you're only to, I'm trying to like.
Oh, for sure. Dream collaboration.
Oh yeah, you did wear those heavy bell bottoms in Runaway.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of capture that vibe. Dream collaboration. Right now, I'm feeling like Chronix because I love some of his. I love a lot of his stuff. I've never heard a bad song from Chronix. I love his stuff. So that's like a dream collab for me.
Besides soca, what's your favorite genre of music to listen to?
Music.
I like that. Your writer, your songwriting process, lyrics first or melody?
Depends on my mood, to be honest. So if like DNA started with the music first, the music really spoke to me. Versus a song like Runaway. Runaway started with the actual hook. I needed to run away because of what what the feeling was like at the time. So
why get the sense that you were running away from somebody and then you just decided to diaspora it out?
Oh no. I'll actually tell you, like, I was actually in New York. I spent like about 2 weeks in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in this club, this Caribbean club, and they played the original Lorraine by a really prominent calypsonian called Lord Explainer.
Okay.
They played it, just seeing the response from people, and I was like, he's talking about. So basically, his wife is Laura. I don't know if you're familiar with the song. A lot of people, yes?
Yes.
Right, so you're familiar with the song.
Of course. I old, I might look young, but I old.
Right, so as you're familiar with the song, a lot of people, his story was basically talking about him, and he was leaving Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are now, years later, and I was like, we were making a joke in the club. He was like, I wonder what happened to Lauren. We're going on with Lauren, and I kind of sparked the interest, and well, I wonder if Lauren ever took a runaway to Trinidad or followed suit, and that's basically the intro to Runaway.
Yes, it definitely is. She literally like left and just She left work and just went straight to the airport. That's a life, eh? That's
Yeah,
a that's
yeah,
that is actually a reality. Like people think people might be looking at it from a Caribbean perspective, like if you're living in the Caribbean and saying, ah, she must have had to plan this. No, it doesn't. Half the time, it's unplanned.
yeah, yeah. That's
It's unplanned. You're just like, to hell with this place. I gone. I gone. Final one. The biggest lesson you've learned so far in your career.
the biggest lesson I've learned is to allow yourself to be a vessel, allow yourself to live in the moment. And in life a lot of things are uncertain, and embrace that uncertainty. There's strength in not knowing, there's power in not knowing. Yeah.
I think so. Sometimes I just want to know it.
No, it's good to not know. I think that's what the human experience is all about, not knowing and then knowing.
Hmm. How do you channel these all of these moments of uncertainty? Like how do you go through? Because as an artist, like I find it such a, a risk because you
Yeah,
could put out a song and some people could just not like it. You
yeah,
know, it's like it's
yeah, yeah,
how do you go through those emotions? Like even like I know you mentioned earlier, you might spend how many hours on a song, like
yeah.
perfecting the song, and then it goes out, and then the response is like, you know, or you might just something might just come out, and all of a sudden everybody jumping on it. You know, like how do you live with those in those moments? What do you
So
do?
I think one, it's about the purpose. So the purpose is not about me or them. It's about it's like about the music. So again, putting the music first is one, and then two, I think you can't live or create for the purpose of pleasing people. I think you have to create from a standpoint of, this is how I feel, and if you identify with this feeling, amazing, amazing. So I think,
A lot of it is based on your emotions. Like a lot
yeah,
of it, you're
yeah,
literally you're putting yourself out there
yeah,
every single time.
yeah. And I think for me, I'm a person with a really big heart. So anywhere I go, like, I be love, and I think that translates. And luckily people feel the same way. So thank God for that.
Mm. Okay, so I want you to help me with this because
Hmm.
my sister wants to hear "Runaway," but I want to start with Lauren. You better wake up.
I need a jet plane to take me non-stop.
Stop,
I can't stay in New York City
city.
when
When
there is sunshine and pan in my country.
country.
Life is the place for the jamming with Cali and Charlie's Rules clashing. Everyone home partying, and I'm freezing in
In
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Tired, Lauren, don't cry, I'm leaving.
Even
Jam-
I can miss this jamming.
One of my listen, that's one of my favorite songs too. I have like a playlist of like old school soca music, and that is like in the top five.
So I get that from my dad. So my father loved old school soca. Like he would play all of them. So we just knew them, not even knowing who the artists were. We just it just naturally was
Yeah,
that we would hear playing a lot. Although we grew up Christians, but he would flip, he'd flip the script on us when it comes to music. He loved his Lucky Dube, and he loved his Luciano, and he loved what he loved.
yeah.
And I remember hearing, those old school, and then you come with your new version, the Runaway. Give us the little Runaway. Give us the Runaway, because my sister dying for it.
Say she only got one life. Can't stay on the job site. Make a memory for a lifetime that could last. Come on, baby, knock a glass with two eyes. She don't catch feelings, she catch flights. So she coming back to the sunshine paradise. Lauren say it cold out in New York City. Then she coming home cause she must have to play. Lauren say it cold out in New York City. Then she coming home cause she must have to play. If you get she ballin', I need a little runaway. Lauren coming home for carnival, I need a little runaway. This woman unpack she party bag, I need a little runaway. She tell her she friend and family, I need a little runaway.
Yes, yes. Okay, my sister, you happy now? Like I made him. She was tired of dropping that. She's sending me messages everywhere.
Yeah,
Everywhere she got me. She, a lot of fans on the live. Shelly just came on, bigging
I'm
you up.
up Shelly.
Uh, a lot of other folks are saying how much they love your music. My cousin Lisa, she's saying, I think I got a slap for singing that song. Oh, I think that the Lauren, you better wake up. That might have been the song that she got a slap for.
Ooh,
Folks are loving the concept of Lorraine and how it was inspired, and
yeah.
of Runaway. People are telling my sister, I hope she happy now so she can go and sleep. But what's next for you? I know you're on tour.
Yeah.
Are you planning an album, or is it this is just going to be, I'm gonna do a tour and then I'm gonna wait for carnival? Because I know a lot of times it's very hard to, like, as a soca artist, actually go out there and put out an album.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of finances. It takes a lot of energy, and
Yeah.
again, too, it takes a lot of emotions. Right?
Uh,
What's next for you?
so next year, yes, album during Carnival next year, during our Trinidad and Tobago Carnival next year.
Mhm.
I leave for Antigua tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm out there in Antigua. So this weekend, I think it's Sunday, we in Antigua to perform, but I'm coming in a little earlier.
Why are you coming on early? What are you going in earlier for?
No,
Because I
to
think I have
actually
coffee.
rehearse and just
Okay.
be in the atmosphere a little bit. I like when I'm in a place and I'm getting time to, like, literally be there and not just flying in, perform and then leave. Like, it's good to, like, hang out with some of the locals and, you know, test out the vibes and see, what they react to, what they feeling, was that the local delicacies, that kind of thing.
Hmm. And then from Antigua, you head to.
From Antigua, I head to Guyana.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you're booked and busy. I mean, it was a pleasure having you on the show with me.
Thank you for
I don't-
having me. Thank you for having me, and to everybody on the live and stuff. Like, yo, thank you for staying here with us and keeping us that company and just sharing that good energy. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yes, I truly appreciate you for, because I know you're busy, and even when we spoke in Dominica, you were like, "Yo, if you don't get me now, you might not get me again."
Yeah, because after this week here is like straight up until like August. Yeah,
Yes, it was a pleasure having you on, and I looking forward to in the future, and when your album comes on, you always have a home here. You can come hit me up and say, I want to release my album. I want to do some promo. I want Dominicans to stream my music,
yeah,
or Caribbean people, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your super busy schedule and hanging on here with us.
yeah.
For a little bit.
And thank you guys for having me as well. It goes both ways. So yeah.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Keep doing what you're doing. Let me just see if anybody has anything that they want to say. Somebody says, come back for Curl Music Festival. They want you to come back.
If they'll have me, if
They
they'll
book
have
you if they'll have you. If they'll have him. Thank you again, Mical Teja, for stopping off. And I'm so appreciative of you. Go out there and do great things.
All
All
right, love
right.
everyone.
Love always. Bye-bye. Ah, guys, that was it. That was it. That was it. I know it was sweet. It was sweet. Listen, sweet individual, very humble, very great, like a great personality. I mean, when I met him in person, I knew that it was going to be a wonderful show, and he was going to come and share with us, and so honest and so kind, and I appreciate that. I appreciate every single person, Dion and and my girl Sue for making it happen. Thank you very much for that. I really truly appreciate you both. My team for always being on top of things with me. I truly appreciate you guys, and thank you all for your support. Those of you on the live, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for interacting. Thank you for tagging. Those of you who tagged, I promise to bring you more of these. You know, there will not be a lot of notice, so make sure you follow, you turn on your notifications if you don't want to miss these shows. Probably I'll do something where I can invite people to come and ask them questions. You know, would you guys like that? Let me know what you guys would like. You know, if I'm able to get them to come on, you know, get people to come on and ask questions, you know, and interact with the artists. So let me know if what you guys would love to see on the show. Let me know who you'd love to see on the show. Send me a message, drop a comment below, tag someone. I really truly appreciate every single one of you. Those of you on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course, to you on X. Big up to Digicel. Thank you very much for. You'd love that, of course. I'm gonna do my best. I really essentially would love to be able to invite, you know, someone like the person's top fan. You know, we have a poll running, and if you're a top fan of that individual, then you get to meet them and ask them a question. I would love to be able to do that. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. All right, next week we got another show for you. So this is the only one for this week because that's just how it is. Next week we got some shows coming up. So stay tuned. Thanks again. Until next time, I'll see y'all soon. Bye. See y'all. Hey.
Tell them we not leaving till the last drop of bacchanal is madness in the capital. So I feel like I'm running tongue again.